Hey guys, today's video is about how to do intermittent fasting and never get hungry. So if you're just starting out on intermittent fasting or you're considering starting, I've been doing intermittent fasting for many years. I used to be extremely overweight. It's the only way I've managed to lose a large amount of weight and stay sort of within a fairly healthy range. It's a very good way to lose weight. Now, one issue that a lot of people have with it, obviously, because it does involve, quite a large period of time of, not eating, is being hungry. And now I'll tell you that when you first start, if you're used to constantly eating throughout the day, never having a break, you will feel a huge amount of hunger when you first start for the first few hours. Some people will even suffer from, low blood sugar. They might feel a little bit dizzy and things like that. And that's starting, on the lightest form of intermittent fasting. That's just because your body's so accustomed to constant sugar and constant food that it's just a huge shock to the system. It's not anything to do with the diet being unhealthy and things like that. It's to do with you being unhealthy. And unfortunately, the only way that you can really get over that is to, of course, just stick with it. And once you get used to going for a period of time without eating, then it will be a lot easier. Now, the typical sort of way to start intermittent fasting is the 16-8 method, which is basically 16 hours without any calories, and then 8 hours, an 8-hour window where you can eat your food at any time within those 8 hours. And so if you're starting and you're trying just doing 16 hours, it's really not that difficult. Hunger really shouldn't be a massive problem, just because let's say, for example, you stop at 8 p.m. roughly. You'll then go until 12, so until noon the next day before you can have your first meal. So the majority of that time, if you go to bed at 10, you've only got 2 hours in the evening where you're not eating. Then you'll wake up, I don't know, 8 or something like that, or 7. You've just got 4 or 5 hours to go without eating. So it's not a huge thing for many people as well. There are many people that don't eat early in the mornings. They don't, it's just not for them. I was that way, so it was fairly easy for me. If you're not a breakfast person, then it's going to be extremely easy. Now, if you are someone that does suffer from, hunger, you get very hungry before 12, you can try a few different things. Drinking, obviously, one thing that's very important is to make sure you're drinking enough, because when you're not eating, you're not absorbing those liquids from the foods, especially if you're talking in regards to salad, vegetables, fruits. They contain a lot of water, a lot of liquids. So as you're not eating, you won't be getting it from those sources. So you need to drink more than you normally would. Now, in regards to trying to avoid hunger, what I drink mostly is sparkling water. I personally believe that helps. It helps to sort of make you feel fuller and things like that. It's up to you. If you don't like it, you can drink normal water. But I recommend sparkling. The best option, obviously, is mineral. If you can drink mineral water, that's what you should be drinking. It's healthier, just get a few of those extra sort of trace minerals and things that your body needs, to be healthy. So sparkling mineral water is the best option, just to push that fast a bit longer and just hold you off until you can eat, basically. Another option is coffee. Now, many people say that coffee is a sort of an appetite suppressant. I don't believe that's true, and there are studies that show that it actually isn't true. Well, there are conflicting studies, but I've certainly read about that coffee, for example, when you drink coffee, it doesn't keep you full any more than drinking water, for example. It's just, the effects of drinking the liquid is not anything to do with it being coffee. You know, if you drank the same amount of water, it'd have the same effect in regards to sort of fighting off hunger. Now it does have some additional benefits in regards to fat burning. You know, you can look into that yourself. Coffee will increase fat burn in a small amount, has caffeine as well, so that also increases, you know, also makes you burn slightly more calories by increasing your heart rate. Caffeine is also good if you plan on doing some fasted exercise. It will just help you, it improves sort of, you know, performance in regards to sort of exercise, whether it be cardio or weightlifting, by around 10%. So, you know, sometimes a bit of caffeine is good. If you are planning on doing fasted cardio, for example, you know, drinking coffee half an hour before, that will just give you a little boost then when you start to do your exercise, and make it a little bit easier, because it can be draining when you are, you know, on a fast and you are doing exercise. So, another point here is it is important when you're doing intermittent fasting to start off slowly and just to do 16 hours for a good length of time. So do, you know, 3 or 4 months just doing a 16-hour fast. If you try and increase the amount of time fasted too quickly, that's when you'll really suffer from, you know, a lot of hunger. Especially if you go from, you know, 16 and you jump straight up to 18, 20 hours. You know, that's a lot longer time. It may not sound that longer, but when, you know, 16 to 20, it's a really huge difference. You're going almost a full day there with no calories whatsoever. And it's also important as well, you know, to take into account your job and the times that you're doing and things. If you work nights, for example, then you'll need to rearrange your eating window to a time that sort of best suits you, so that you're able to, you know, do your job effectively and things. So, you know, it's different for every person. It depends on your lifestyle, what time you wake up, what kind of work you do, if you're really active and things like that. But what's most important is, you know, building your way up slowly. So I've personally done 20-hour fasts for a long time, and you get used to it quickly, but when you're first starting, it is extremely difficult. Now, I used to wake up at excuse me, at around 5 a.m. I'd then go to my job that starts at 6. I would work 10 hours until 4 p.m. I would then go back home, and then I would have my first meal at 5, and then I would stop eating at 8. So I did, you know, practically, you know, 21-hour fasts. I'll tell you, I lost a huge amount of weight doing that, and it wasn't that difficult because I was always occupied. I was always busy. Always had stuff to do. I wasn't just sitting there watching TV thinking about when I'm going to eat. You know, I had work to do, I had things to do. And you know, if you can certainly, and everyone can do it. You can all build your way up to that, you know, longer fast. Perhaps even do a 4 days fast, you know, once a month and things like that. It can really help, you know, just give it a little push, accelerate that fat loss. Especially if you're sort of on a plateau and you're struggling to lose a bit of weight, you've hit a wall kind of thing. Doing a full night's fast, that can really, you know, push the fat burn in there. Really, yeah, you know, accelerate it. So exercise as well. It's just, yeah, that can really help with avoiding hunger. It depends what type. Swimming, for example, is one I would avoid. I don't know why, but whenever I do swimming, I feel extremely hungry afterwards. But there are plenty of exercises that will kind of, at least for me, they have the effect of you know, I just don't feel hungry at all after I've been exercising. So a bit of weightlifting, nothing too extreme if you are in a fasted state whilst you're doing it. You know, be careful with heavy weights and things, especially if you're just starting intermittent fasting and you're not that used to, you know, burning body fat as a fuel. You may sort of be weaker than usual, but you'll quickly recover from that. It's more efficient for the body to be burning fat than it is to be burning sugar. So you know, it is very healthy, and you know, long term it will help you lose weight effectively, quickly, and it's easy to maintain. So you know, stick with intermittent fasting. I guarantee it'll work. It worked for me. So if you like, guys, subscribe. I'll see you in the next